We're all doing life, but who knew it could be this funny? Thanks for tuning in and checking out our podcast. We are Doing Life with Maria and Chad.
I cannot wait to play this game with you. I found a game that was made specifically for me. Some stranger made a game specifically for me, and I cannot wait to tell you about it. It's coming up a little bit later in our podcast. Happy Halloween, Chad.
It's a little early for that. Are you getting all your decorations out, putting the house together for Halloween?
No, we actually got rid of all our Halloween decorations, but at Costco they have all their Halloween costumes out and ready for the kids. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to mention this. I overheard a mom talking to her son, and the son wanted to buy his Halloween costume. And the mom said, "No, we've already talked about this. You can't get your Halloween costume till September." Well, anybody who shops at Costco or one of the big warehouse stores know that if you see something you like in the size you need, you get it now because it's not going to be there.
Right.
So odds are the size that this kid wants, a month from now, it's not going to be around.
Yep.
Some of the costumes we have, my favorite is firefighter, and it actually has like shiny stripes on it like the real firefighter outfits have. It's so cute.
Uh-huh.
But I found a list from Party City of the top Halloween costumes this year, what they think anyway.
It's kind of a weird year for people. Like, they don't know if they're going to be able to do trick-or-treating or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, a costume, you don't want to wait, but you kind of do because you don't know, what things are going to be like as far as, is it going to be a normal Halloween?
Well, it's funny you say that, too, because 96%, according to the story from Party City, say that parents are planning to celebrate Halloween. Most are looking for alternatives to trick-or-treating, which, I kind of get, I guess. But what do you think the craziest Halloween costume is on the list? Think of people who have been in the news this year.
Oh, Carole Baskin, probably all the Tiger King stuff.
Yes, Tiger King. Yes, that was the one that kind of stood out to me. I can see people wearing the mullets and carrying around stuffed tigers, and I think it's going to be pretty funny.
What are you going to do it? Are you thinking about dressing up as Carole Baskin?
I'm not. You know me. I'm not a Halloween dresser-upper person. You, on the other hand, are like the Halloween god.
Well,
so maybe I should ask you, are you and your wife going to dress up as Carole Baskin and the Tiger King?
This is too early. I don't make a decision until October, and then I regret it, because I didn't plan in advance. Trying to think what we've done. We did Guy Fieri, and then my wife was Paula Deen one year.
That was my favorite. Of all the pictures you've shown me, that was my favorite.
Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do this year. It is kind of a weird year, but what are, besides Tiger King, what are the other popular costumes this year?
A lot of doctors, nurses, police officers, Frozen characters are still real popular with kids. Wonder Woman, skeleton, zombie. I mean, the usual stuff. But the one that stood out to me was that Tiger King is going to be, the creative costume this year.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And it's so easy to either buy a costume or kind of put something together that, that you've got laying around the house to become one of the people that were big on that show.
I'm raising my hand. No one can see you. You can't see me, but you know how you always dress up as a family, or you try to dress up as a whole family?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're Tiger King, wife is Carole Baskin, daughter, a tiger.
A tiger. You don't understand.
I mean, that's perfect.
I've got a 14-year-old going into high school that won't be as easy to convince to be part of the family costume anymore. She's starting to branch out. And actually, coming up on the podcast in a little bit, I want to share with you a message to kind of explain where she's at with her friends. I was going through her phone and I saw some of the text messages that she had, like a group chat between her friends. And she's definitely on a different level than she was even a year ago. I think she'll probably be making up her own mind on what she wants to be for Halloween. But that said, there's a story in the news. I wanted to make sure we spotlighted this. It's not important who this person is, but she's a grandma, and she's been telling a not so charming story of how Grandpa proposed. I want to play you what happened with her proposal, but afterwards I want to hear about your proposal, how you and Eric actually, how he asked you to get married. But listen to this.
You know how I got engaged? First of all, I didn't even think I was getting a ring. But then Bubby had a party, and I got a ring, and everybody was there, and Grandpa, all of a sudden, we're sitting across from each other, and he throws it at me. Like...
The ring?
Yes.
So that was the romantic grandma story. She got the ring thrown at her. But I feel like you've told me before, I know you guys, your origin story, how you and Eric met at a bar, but how did he ask you to get married? It wasn't that day. Like, how did that go down for you? It wasn't the ring being thrown at you, right?
No, it was not a ring being thrown at me. We actually went to dinner. And we went to the restaurant that's at the Royal Palms Resort, that nice resort.
Uh-huh.
And we're having dinner, and after dinner at I think it's T. Cook's is the restaurant, the maitre d' says, "Hey, why don't you guys go for a walk around the grounds, and then you can come back and order, dessert, something like that." And we're like, "Oh, that's cool." So we kind of walk around, and we get to this place on the property that is where a lot of the weddings are held.
Okay.
And we're sitting there, my husband and I are, sitting there, and I go, if we ever get married, this is beautiful. We should get married here. And then he gets all nervous, and then he pulls out a box, and inside the box was a diamond, not a diamond ring, but a diamond.
Uh-huh.
And he said, will you marry me? And, you can design your own ring, but here's the diamond for you. And then he goes, but you can't keep that diamond. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
He goes, because I'm going to get you a bigger diamond. Because he had a guy in the back of a barbecue restaurant that he got the diamond from.
I never heard this story. I'm so glad that I asked. So was he just dealing diamonds?
You never heard this one?
No, diamonds in the back of a barbecue.
Yeah, he knew a guy that used to be a jeweler.
Yeah.
And then he owned barbecue restaurants.
Uh-huh.
And so we went to this guy's restaurant, and in the back of the restaurant, we're sitting there at a table, and the guy brings out this diamond, and he's checking it out. I mean, it was literally in the back of a barbecue restaurant.
This is great. So did you get the bigger diamond at some point that you wanted, or he wanted to get for you?
Yeah. So I think the original engagement ring or engagement diamond was maybe 3/4 of a carat, something like that. And then I got moved up to a little over a carat or a carat.
Okay.
So I got a bigger diamond in the back of the barbecue restaurant by the barbecue guy.
That's the greatest. I've never, of all the times we've talked about weddings and proposals and stuff, I've never heard that. Mine is, for Stephanie and I, we have been together now like 28 years, but we were together 10 years before we got engaged. And, we were young when we started dating, so it made sense for us. But I had, gotten the ring, not in the back of a barbecue restaurant. My family is involved with a jewelry store in my hometown, so I was able to arrange and get the ring. And I had it for a while, and it was way more than I probably should have spent at that point. So I had this ring, and it's expensive, and it's sitting there, and I'm like, how are we going to do this? And then, as luck would have it, I won a trip. I won a cruise in the Caribbean. So my girlfriend, who's now my wife, spoiler alert, we went on this cruise, and I had it in my bag, and I was so concerned because I had never gone on a vacation like this before, like going through security, if it was going to be found, and then it would ruin the surprise. I wasn't sure how it would all play out. So I got onto the ship, and I was able to hide it, and nobody saw it before it was time. And we had gone to this dinner, and I snuck back to the room during dinner and had it with me. And then we went up to the top of the ship after dinner, and I was up there, and it was just the two of us. And if you've ever been on a cruise, most of the time at night, it's like super windy. So we're on the back of this ship. And when Stephanie had turned around, I had gotten down on one knee and asked her to marry me. And looking back at it, like what I remember is that the wind was like, Stephanie's got a lot of hair, and like all the hair was in her face, and it was blowing around. And this was well before like cell phones. So there was a lady that was not super far from us, and we asked her, and we're like, hey, we just got engaged. Will you take our picture? And we had the old school digital camera, not a cell phone.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, can you take our picture? And she's like, nah. I don't think she was having a good night. She wouldn't take our picture. So our engagement photo is, you can't see it like a cell phone now. It's a selfie of Steph with her hair all in her face, like it's not, like an influencer would have pushed out in 2020. It's very kind of crappy, but we love the fact that this lady said no to taking our picture. It was just a perfect capper to our engagement story. But
this is my favorite part of the whole story. No.
Yeah, all I can imagine, and I can just picture her. I think she was having a bad day. Maybe she's fighting with the guy she came on the cruise with. She's up there by herself, just smoking away. And I'm like, hey, can you take a picture now? It was pretty funny.
Now, do you have that photo still? Like, is it framed somewhere?
It's not framed, but I do have it. Yeah, I mean, it was a digital photo, so I don't think I've ever actually printed it, but it's bad. I mean, it's like, it's not something that you would probably display. But I'll have to, if I can dig it up, I'll have it posted here on our YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, just search for Doing Life with Maria and Chad. And if I can find that photo, we'll post it up as we're telling this story here.
Let me just say that even though it's a crappy photo, it brings back so many memories and such a great time that maybe for your anniversary, you print it and give it to her as a surprise.
Well, the way things are going, I can buy her a cruise ship because nobody wants those anymore. It's with the COVID and everything. I don't know when those things are going to come back or when people will be able to have a similar experience.
Speaking of purchases, I bought a new game.
A game, because I know you play a lot of games on your phones. What kind of a game did you get?
This is actually a card game.
Okay.
And I cannot wait. I want to play it with you and your family.
All right.
It is called Throw Burrito. Have you seen this at all?
I have not. What is Throw Burrito? That's crazy.
Okay. Have you ever played dodgeball?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever played spoons?
I don't know. What is spoons?
Spoons is where you take a deck of cards. Everybody gets 4 cards, and you can only have 4 cards in your hand at a time, and you pass the deck around, 1 card at a time. Whoever gets 4 of a kind lays down their cards, and they take a spoon from the middle.
Okay. No, I don't think I've ever played that one, but...
All right, so this is going to be hard to explain then. So Throw Burrito is like spoons meets dodgeball.
So you throw the burrito while they're trying to play or something?
So everybody has 3 cards, and you're trying to get, they have 5 cards in their hand at a time.
Yep.
And you're trying to get 3 of a kind. And when you get 3 of a kind, you lay down your 3 cards, you pick up 3 more cards until you have 5 in your hand again, and you keep going around in a circle.
Okay.
If you get 3 burrito cards, you lay them down, and then the people on either side of you pick up the foam burritos and whip them at each other. And if you get hit, you get a bruise card, and whoever has the most bruise cards loses.
So when will you receive this game, and when are we playing is my question.
I think I'm going to get it tomorrow. I'm so excited. And there's also, and I didn't see this at the time, but there's also the Throw Burrito Extreme, which has these giant, 3-foot blow-up burritos that you just whip at each other instead of the little foam burritos that you throw at each other.
I can tell you the person who came up with this didn't know you, but they designed this game for you. This is Maria's game. I could just, from the way you described it, this is right up your alley. I mentioned earlier the text that I found on my daughter's phone. So, they're about ready to go back to in-person learning at her school Monday. She's going to be a high schooler. If you can remember your first day of high school, that's happening for our daughter.
Oh my gosh.
So this has all been building through COVID that, she hasn't seen her friends that much. This is her first chance to get together with them. And so they were going to do like a small get together with some of their friends at another friend's house. They were going to go swimming and catch up on everything. But unbeknownst to me, I guess I kind of assumed it, but she has like a group chat with some of her closer friends. Mm-hmm. And, you think you know your kid until you really see how they interact with their friends. And there was a long text chain that I enjoyed reading. I thought I would share part of it with you. They were talking about where they were going to meet up, whose house they were going to go to, what time. And there's a million messages that are just kind of nonsensical 14-year-old girl conversation, right? Until one girl suggests that they should meet in Australia. And then things kind of go off the rails. And they're like, yes, oh yeah, I'll meet you in Australia. And her one little friend wrote this long text. I want to read it to you. Her name's Brinley. So she wrote, "This is how you get to Australia." Yes, okay, so this is how you get there. You take an old lady's cane and you hit the sidewalk 3 times. It will put you in a plane that takes you to the top of Mount Everest. Once you get there, you ride a mountain goat to India. Then you choke a snake and use its venom to open a portal to the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And then you play dead and the sharks will kidnap you and bring you to a dungeon underneath Australia. Once you're there, find a crab and let it pinch your pinky toe. Then you'll go soaring through a geyser and land in the shortest tree in the middle of Australia. Be there by midnight tonight. See you there. I'm like, what is going on with these kids?
That is so creative, though. That is amazing.
She's got a great group of kids. Like that one is super creative, obviously, with writing. The other one is really good with art. They were dressing up as Napoleon Dynamite the other day and reenacting the dance scene from Napoleon Dynamite. So, yeah, she's super excited about getting back to in-person learning. I know a lot of people are doing at home learning, online learning. I know in our neighborhood, that's like the big thing right now.
There is a new play set from, I think it's Fisher Price that came out. That is the work from home play set.
That is apropos. Yeah.
It is perfect. And I will guarantee you this is going to be a hot seller over the holidays because it comes with a smartphone. It comes with like a fake like a little wood smartphone.
Right.
It comes with a little headset because mom and dad are talking on headsets. Comes with a little laptop that has stickers that you can put on it that show different apps, including like bar graphs and stuff like real work stuff. And my favorite thing that it comes with is a to-go coffee cup. So it looks like a little Starbucks or a little Dutch Brothers coffee cup. And it is the cutest thing. And I got to tell you, if I had a child that was Fisher Price toy age, this is totally something I would buy for them. It is so cute.
Yeah, that is going to be a hot seller. What perfect timing! Wow, the geniuses at Fisher Price or whoever's making it, pretty good plan there. Let's do this. Let me see.
You are a liar. You are a fake.
Maria and Chad present.
Is this for real?
Do you ever fake it?
Get the fake out.
That was a fake.
I think I'm for real.
So I made it a little bit easier for you this time, Maria.
Well, thank you, because I haven't gotten one correct yet.
Well, this is your day. I've only gotten 4 headlines for you to pay attention to if you're playing along as you listen to the podcast. The way Get the Fake Out works, there are 3 headlines that are real. 1 is fake. Maria's going to guess which one is fake and see if you can get it correct today. Number 1 headline is, rinsing dishes before you put them in the dishwasher will make them less clean.
Okay.
New Hampshire is the first state to allow flying cars on the road.
Okay.
A man installs a USB storage drive on his severed finger, giving him a literal thumb drive. And finally, cat people now have their own dating app. Those are the 4 headlines. You want to let me know which one you think is fake?
Okay, I wrote them down. So I gotta believe that cat people have their own dating app. If they didn't have it before, it's long overdue. So I believe that is true. I think I heard that rinsing dishes before you wash them or before you clean them is actually worse before you put them in the dishwasher. I think that's true as well.
Okay.
Okay, so that leaves New Hampshire flying cars and thumb drive as the fake story. I'm going to say flying cars is fake. That New Hampshire is not going to allow flying cars. I don't think that the FAA would allow that.
You were so close, Maria. You were so close. You had them narrowed down,
Really?
and you picked the wrong one.
Oh, no!
I feel like Reed just felt, you were so close. Yeah, that is actually, the New Hampshire is the first state to allow flying cars on the road. That is true. It's called the Jetson Bill, and it's crazy how this happened. So, reading into it, the transportation bill includes a provision that makes flying cars legal on public roads. But as you read more into the headline, they aren't available just yet, the flying cars, but they're calling it a future forward gesture. And more importantly, it's not intended for flying cars to take off and land on public roads. It's making it possible, if you own a flying car, to drive your flying car to an airport so you can take off, if that makes sense.
Oh, got it.
But again, it's just kind
So
of...
there's not going to be like layers of traffic where there's like the low flying cars, the middle flying cars, and the upper flying cars like you see in the futuristic movies.
Well, I think that there could be, but they're just making it possible for you to pull out of your garage, if you keep your flying car in your garage, drive to the airport and take off, so that if that ever happens, that's legal. So crazy. I did make up the man that installed the USB storage drive on his severed finger, giving him a literal thumb drive. That is the fake headline this week. Let's see here. The cat people, if you're
I
listening,
thought that was real because it was so weird.
right? It's
You know
hard
what
to
I
know
mean?
anymore. Like with these headlines, like what is real and what is not. If you are a cat person and you're looking to date, the website you're looking for is tabbydates.com, TABBY dates.com. You can check that out. And then the dishes thing, this was like my favorite story I've seen in a while. It's all about modern dishwashers and how they determine how dirty your dishes are. Apparently,
The dishwasher itself determines that?
I guess, I don't know if ours is modern enough to do this, but it supposedly, when you put dishes in, it determines how dirty your dishes are. Then it adjusts the water pressure and the jet pressure to match how dirty they are.
Oh.
So if you're rinsing off your dishes, the dishwashers are going to think your dishes are clean and only use the light wash cycle.
Oh, that makes sense.
So you're only supposed to scrape off like solid food and throw them in there just like that. And voila. So less work, cleaner dishes, which is good.
I got to tell you, my husband's grandmother lived in Tempe. And when she was still alive, we would go to her house kind of on a regular basis.
Uh-huh.
She had the best dishwasher ever. I don't know what it was. It was not new. It was old. But this thing cleaned dishes like nobody's business. And grandma would be like, yeah, don't rinse them off. That's fine. Just throw them in there. It was amazing.
Huh.
And it was probably 100 years old.
Yeah, I'm the one that loads our dishwasher. So when I saw this, I'm like, this is going to save me so much time. I'll just throw it in there. But I still, out of habit, I still try to clean them, some. I don't want, stuff to get caught in the trap. I do have one more thing for today's podcast. This is our final question, Maria, and I want you to answer this. This is something I saw online, and it had me thinking. From time to time, I'm fascinated with the Kool-Aid Man because it was such a big part of our childhoods. This is the question I saw on Twitter, and it made me laugh and smile. Do you think Kool-Aid Man moves into bigger pitchers as he outgrows them, like a hermit crab?
No. I think he is what he is.
He's the size. He doesn't get larger.
right,
as he gets older.
Because otherwise he would have started off as the Kool-Aid shot glass guy.
Little baby Kool-Aid man. I don't know.
I think he is what he is.
All right, let me give that one more time. If you want to answer it on Instagram or Facebook, Maria and Chad on Instagram and Doing Life with Maria and Chad on Facebook. Do you think Kool-Aid Man moves into bigger pitchers as he outgrows them, like a hermit crab? Tell us your whacked out theory, yes or no, and why. And we'll update that on the next podcast. We are available on YouTube if you want to watch the show. And hopefully if I can dig up that photo from my engagement, you'll see that on the YouTube channel. And what are all the apps that have our podcast now, Maria?
We are on Spotify, Pandora, Google Podcast, on the TuneIn app. We're on iHeart. Podbean. What else? Stitcher.
Yeah, I think you hit them all.
What else did I miss?
Pretty much everywhere. I think you got them all. Pretty much everywhere that you can listen to podcasts, and there's probably more that we don't even realize that it's found our podcast and populated, so you can see it on there. Thanks again for watching and listening. And anything else? Did I forget, Maria?
Well, you did not answer the Kool-Aid Man question.
I'm going with that is absolutely true, just to be different. I think that the Kool-Aid Man gets bigger pitchers. You know, there's a lot of sugar in Kool-Aid, and that's going to make you get bigger and gain weight. And so I think that's my answer is yes, like a hermit crab, the Kool-Aid Man gets bigger, and that's how it crashes through fences because it's so strong and girthy.
You're a weirdo.
Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
Thanks again for listening to Doing Life with Maria and Chad. Follow us on Instagram at Maria and Chad. You can now listen to every episode on the iHeartRadio app, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Pandora, and of course, you can watch on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single episode.